They will look up and shout, "Save us." And I'll look down and whisper, "No."
What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking Season 1 of Watchmen on HBO, the brand new show. I finally caught up, finished it. The finale came out tonight, so we are going to talk about this entire season. Now, really quick, I'm going to give you guys some spoiler-free thoughts, just in case you haven't watched this season, and recommend maybe why you should, or at least stick around for the last couple of episodes. And then we'll get into our full spoiler review, and then at the very end, I'll tell you guys whether the finale capitalized and was disappointing or not. And I'm really excited for this video because I need your all's thoughts below. What were your thoughts on the season finale and really the season as a whole? Did you guys enjoy it? Did it pay off? Did you get all of your questions answered? I need you in the comments below. And if you like things like this, full season reviews, hit that thumbs up button. And my top 10 shows of 2019, that video is being worked on right now. Okay, let's get into it. So Watchmen Season 1. Set in an alternate history where masked vigilantes are treated as outlaws, Watchmen embraces the nostalgia of the original groundbreaking graphic novel of the same name while attempting to break new ground of its own. Now, I understand why there was a bit of backlash in the beginning. The first few episodes, and I actually did individual episode reviews on this channel, and I got some things out of the first few episodes. Definitely did not like it as much as I did the second half of the series. Still enjoy this season as a whole, and I'll get into why here in just a second. But oh man, the controversy surrounding this show was so insane and so crazy. I'm just like, I'm not going to do episode reviews anymore because my comment section, for me, it's just too much. I like when people give their opinions, but when they do it in a hostile way, it's not for me. So I stopped doing that. I went on a bit of a hiatus from the show, came back around to it, caught up the last couple of episodes, and I had heard things about episode 6 and 7. Austin, it's the best episode of TV you're going to watch all year, and I'm like, okay. Sure. Like I said, I liked the beginning of the season. There were just so many odd and strange elements, and they're setting up all of these plot points, and I just don't know. Damon Lindelof, he's known for not giving everyone answers to every question that they have, so I was afraid the last couple of episodes would most likely be epic, but epic in a sense that did not capitalize on all of the plot points set up. But where this show ends up going in the second half of the season is far, not greater, well, greater than I expected, but far different from what I expected to happen in the last couple of episodes because, you know, everybody at the beginning of the season, we need Dr. Manhattan. We want to see him. They've been teasing it all throughout all the teasers and trailers, but we're getting a story with some really interesting characters in Angela and Adrian and Lori and Will Reeves, who we start the first episode out on, and I've already talked about it, but that first episode really established what this show was going to be because, and this is really what I love about the whole season, is every episode dives deep into someone, whether it's a side player or a character as prominent as Regina King, who she plays in the show. And by the way, her performance in the show, it's not going to be overlooked, but I think she was so impactful on the quality of what the series ended up being because we have this emotional resonance towards her because she's Regina King to start out with, right? But then they write her character in such a way you care so much, even when she gets captured and she does some things that maybe she should not be doing, right? You care so much about her because you love her and you love her relationship with Yahya Abdul-Mateen II's character in Cal. And Cal, such an interesting and intriguing character that doesn't play a role in the beginning of the season, but he does later on because, of course, that relationship is very important. And okay, I said I'd start out with my non-spoiler thoughts, and here they are. If you want to watch a television show that goes in a direction and takes its time to build up on plot points, but pays off on the majority of those plot points, then watch Watchmen. If you have an attachment to the source material, even though it does kind of stray away in a strange way, a way that not everyone's going to be happy with, but it does stray away, but it also keeps at its heart, at its core, what people love about Watchmen. Watch this series. And if you just like a really cool superhero-esque show that builds intensity unlike anything else I've seen this year, watch Watchmen. Got to be honest with you guys, and I would not have said this after the first couple of episodes. I think Watchmen is one of my favorite shows of 2019, just because it's so different. If you've only watched the first half of the season, listen to me. Continue watching. Keep pushing. Keep trudging. And not saying that it's a show that you have to trudge through because it's very interesting, but I get it. There's always going to be a worry that they're not going to pay off on all these storylines, but where this story goes, especially in episodes 6, 7, and 8, My goodness, some of the best television I've seen in a long time. So that's it. Non-spoilers out of the way. Let's dive deep into spoilers. 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. I mentioned nostalgia when I was reading the summary, and I didn't think we'd actually get a full episode of nostalgia. Literally, her living the life of Will Reeves, a.k.a. Hooded Justice. When they actually dive, and they teased all throughout the first couple of episodes in the season, but when they actually dive into Hooded Justice, and I love the way that that's expressed in that episode, the majority of the episode being in black and white, when she's living these memories in his life, literally living in his shoes, and she's being overwhelmed at the same time while she's in a coma back home in her actual body. I love the way that that was showcased, and that was the episode where I sat back and I said, okay, first of all, we figure out what the role of this guy was in the first place. Now, we didn't get all of the answers we needed from his character. We figured out who his friends were. We figured out how he did what he actually did at the beginning of the season. And we figured out what their relationship was actually like. And the fact that it really is because of her that this all started in the first place. How crazy is that? But when you have Dr. Manhattan, man, you can play with time, you can play with relativity and all of those things, and they definitely do that. They take advantage of the fact that this is a comic book, a graphic novel world, and oh man, do they play on that, and oh man, do they write it in such a way that is just so brilliant. And when you finally get to that reveal, episode 6 being a fantastic episode, episode 7 capturing literally everything you want an episode of television to capture, and kind of giving you how this happened, why this happened, kind of the story of Dr. Manhattan and how it turns out that he was actually with her the entire time. He is Yahya Abdul-Mateen's character, and their relationship, knowing it was going to last 10 years, this specific amount of time, their relationship still being so fantastic. And then once you get the reveal of even Jeremy Irons' character, okay, what has he been doing? Why is this place so weird? What is his role in this show? It feels like in the span of 3 episodes, I got almost, not all of them, almost every question I needed answered, plus the fact that you get a phenomenally made batch of episodes. I mean, the best 3-episode span of television I've seen all year. Now, like I said, since the finale is the newest episode, I'm saving that to the end, but we're talking the 3 episodes prior, and those 3 episodes were just phenomenal. The backstory of Will Reeves, the backstory of Dr. Manhattan, and then boom, you're in it to win it. Dr. Manhattan is there, and he has the ability, and he knows he has the ability to take everyone out that he needs to take out, and they go at, well, he rediscovers who he was, and he understands, okay, this is where I've been, this is where I am now. He was basically in a coma himself because he was living a life that he didn't know he was living. I love the performance that Yahya Abdul-Mateen gives in this show. I love it. And I wasn't expecting to say, well, he's one of the standouts of the show, because I didn't see that character reveal at all, right? Even at the end of the episode when it shows the glow on her face and she's like, all right, it's time to come out. I'm like, are they really doing this? Like, it just caught me so off guard. And maybe if you're more attached to the source material than I am, you knew that this was coming in a weird way, but I didn't see it, man. I didn't see it. And I think your general audience member that's maybe been a bit disappointed in the show, but they knew that maybe Dr. Manhattan, he has to come eventually. When that happens, it really is the turning point, because you start answering all of these questions that you have, down to the squids falling from the sky. And I haven't even mentioned the episode. I love the Looking Glass episode. I love when an episode of television can just explore a side character that maybe we did not need to explore, but the series chooses to go in that semi-episodic direction. I mean, that's what a TV show is supposed to do. It's supposed to be episodic. That's what a lot of people are saying about The Mandalorian right now. But I'm like, is that necessarily a bad thing? Back to Watchmen, though. I loved what they did in that episode. Even though it wasn't answering our big questions, I still like exploring that. And Tim Blake Nelson, I mean, how can you go wrong with casting him as that character? But getting back to what the show did so well, along with the wonderful story progression, the great character build-up, the fact that you have something that gets so interesting, far more interesting than I ever imagined it would go, to be honest, right? And I still like the first batch of episodes, but I'm like, yeah, this is a really good show, but a show that I feel like isn't going to capitalize. Yet it goes on and becomes one of the coolest seasons of television. And I swear, man, I was just I was so hooked at where they ended up taking us. And just on a technical level, before we start talking about the finale, on a technical level, this show is awesome. I love the shots. I love the score is absolutely brilliant. The camera movement. I mean, the transitions, and we talked about this in my episode reviews, the shot of her walking, and then it cuts to a different scene, yet she's still walking, and it's just so beautifully laid out, and I think the look of it is absolutely brilliant. On a technical level, it looks great. Every now and then, the last couple of episodes, there are moments when you can see the green screen, but with the budget that it had, they made it look incredible. Even when Dr. Manhattan is glowing, at first I'm like, well, it doesn't look completely, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. It looks cool. And then when what happens actually happens to Dr. Manhattan at the end of episode 8, you're heartbroken, you're destroyed, you're wondering what's going to happen next. You start to realize this show really has captivated me in a way that I never imagined it would. In terms of where the finale took us after those awesome 3 episodes, I was so satisfied and happy with the ending. And we all knew that final shot of the episode when the foot is going towards the water, that's clearly where it's going to cut, but that's the best route to go, right? It's the inception. Is she actually bestowed with these abilities given to her through that egg, which I thought was a brilliant move. I mean, so many times he mentioned it, the chicken or the egg, and then they flash back to those moments, and I'm like, that is... I mean, the writing here is ridiculous, but, I mean, she's blue in the poster, so, I mean, I'm pretty sure we all think that we know that she ends up doing that, and she does now have the abilities of Dr. Manhattan. I just thought it was so cool how Ozymandias ended up using the squids, or the hardened versions of the squids, to come down like bullets and rain on Lady True's parade. I mean, she ended up making for a really captivating villain, and the way that they kind of threw that on us at the last second, I thought was a tad bit much for me. It's like, oh, you're the daughter, technically the daughter of Adrian. All right, I can buy that. And then as we progress through that episode, we learn more and more things about these characters. But we bring back everyone for this episode. It's this one final climactic battle. I love the way they took us out with Angela's character. And, you know, it is a bit upsetting that Dr. Manhattan bit the dust. I was hoping there would be something at the end, like him floating in the distance, like, hey, I'm still alive. But, you know, that's just because we have a love for this character, especially after the way that he was portrayed in this show. But overall, I thought it was, like, not rushed. But if I have one critique about the finale, it's the fact that they did, not cram, but they inserted a few too many storylines in this final episode. I could have used just a little bit more length, as they have done with this series so far. But, I mean, 9 episodes of brilliance once we're reflecting on the entire series, in my opinion, right? This isn't a show that everyone's going to love. It's out there. It's weird. It's odd according to people, and I understand that, but it's one that progressively gets better. Like I said, it ended up giving me really everything I wanted. I didn't know that I wanted in the final 4 episodes, and what a climactic, fantastic finale. The fact that it's not going to give everyone every single thing, such as where it cuts off at the end, that final shot. I feel there's going to be frustration within the fan base, but I love movies and shows that end on a cliffhanger like that, man. That is brilliant writing. Before I get to my score, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you like reviews like this, full season reviews, smash that thumbs up button, but I'm going a 92% for Watchmen. Wow, what a show, man. Easily one of the coolest and most different, most fascinating shows I've seen all year. Really nice to come on here and talk about just how super entertaining and how well written the entire thing is. Kudos to all of the cast and crew for just delivering what I think is an awards-worthy season of television. You guys are the best. Stay tuned, because this week we're rounding out the year. We are winding down. I'm bringing you guys some of my top 10 lists in 2019 television shows and movies. I'll see you soon.